is Promises Austin. That is out in Spicewood, Texas, just outside of Austin. And that is our program. That's our only program that is for ages, men and women ages 26 plus. So that's something that really does differentiate us. And we work with a lot of professionals and professionals seeking help, as well as, parents seeking help. Just have that extra motivation to get back home and get excited about life again.
So
and being sober.
What would you say the different course of treatment would be for your 18-year-old group, where a lot of treatment centers have 18 and up as one large group? What's the difference you see in your 26 and up?
So with ages 26 plus, there's an element, I think, of extra motivation. They've got careers to get back to. They've got their families to get home to. And it's not so much as I would term or some term the failure to launch crowd. It's more of a people really motivated and ready to do the work and get out and have the tools to come back home to their children and to continue their careers. So that's I would say one of our key differentiators at Promises Austin.
Would you say that the success rate is a little higher for your 26 and up?
I would say so. Because of the extra motivation, they tend to, stick to their aftercare plans better and continue on their journey, use the tools, it's all individualized. It depends on the person and and how motivated they are. And I think it's just because of the older age that people tend to be a little bit more motivated to do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like what got you into this realm and why is it important to you and why Promises?
Yeah, for sure. So I got into this industry in 2004. I'm 38, age 38 now, and I was diagnosed with severe OCD at age 19 when I was a college student at the University of Texas at Austin. And getting into my career, I soon discovered I also had process addiction that I'm actually now in recovery from, and very proud of that. And and substance use disorder, dual diagnosis, that had dramatically affected my family. So it's impacted me greatly, and I working in this field, and I've been working with Elements since last October, and hearing the success stories, and people getting sober, and in recovery, and getting that excitement for their lives back. I mean, that's why I do it. I mean, this isn't a job for me. It's my passion.
That's great, and I think that it's my passion too. So whenever we're working in our passion, then there's a lot. I think it just means a lot more for us.
Absolutely, and it's just it's just so many people, as y'all know, struggle, and there's so much more to life than that, and we can thrive.
That's right.
And I'm very, very blessed to be in the industry, as I know you guys are, and very, very proud to work with Elements, and they've got some top clinical care, and going back to Promises Austin, I was just out there yesterday and doing a site visit with several professionals, and just hearing our therapists talk, and experiencing being there on site at Promises Austin. It's just that feeling of home that you get.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the staff. The staff make the difference. And like one employee, Steve Yoakum, he's been there for 9 years, even before it was called Promises Austin. He's our one of our recovery advocates, and he was just telling me yesterday the new places. He gets so excited when he talks to new places that he takes, clients to visit out in Austin. Whether it be to swimming Krause Springs or Hamilton Pool, or new meetings, or just new things to do. And yeah, it's just awesome. The staff is like family.
Now you guys you're a smaller facility in the scale,
Yeah.
in the grand scale of treatment centers. You
Absolutely,
only
yeah.
have 24 beds. So talk about why privacy is so important to you guys, and why individual treatment is important across the board, and what people need to be looking
absolutely.
for.
Yeah, so I mean, as y'all know, every case is so unique. Every client has different needs, and only having 24 beds, it just allows for that really truly personalized care to work on all issues of from family of origin to attachment wounds, trauma, co-occurring mental health issues, co-occurring other compulsive behaviors in addition to the substance use disorder, and really creating a treatment plan that's really individualized to treat, to meet all those needs. And just being smaller, our groups are smaller, the caseloads are smaller, and it just allows for that individualized attention. And like, for example, each client meets with their primary therapist 3 times a week. One out of 3 of those a week are with the family member, and that's family member. It comes in person or Skype or on the phone. And then in addition to our family workshops that are once a month on Thursdays and Fridays. So at Promise is Austin.
Well, that's awesome. I think that's fantastic. So I think about myself being definitely over that 26 age, and what it would look like for me if I was still in active addiction, and the challenges that I would have to overcome to actually get to a treatment facility for 30 or 60, 90 days, however long they are.
Sure.
And how does that look for somebody that's in a career that they can't necessarily leave work? So how do they still do that? Because I would imagine, Loren, that's a big hurdle for them. So speak to that. Like how do we help them overcome that hurdle, and what do we do to convince them that this period of time, whether the time frame is a little bit more important, and so how do you guys do that?
So at Promises Austin, one of the other things that really differentiates us is that we understand that working professionals and parents, they in some kind of way need to stay connected. To if they have a Tuesday morning business call, every week, that's something that we understand, and we do allow, it is 3 hours a day for our clients to use their phones or use their laptops, and it is supervised.
Okay.
And the technology goes back into the storage closets afterwards, and all of that is upon request and upon approval. But generally, it's 3 hours a day that is supervised, and then it just allows. And sometimes it can be a barrier to treatment, for working professionals that they need to be on that call once a week. We work with business owners, lawyers, et cetera, and they can't leave that. They need to pay their bills, et cetera. A mom wants to, FaceTime with her children, once a week, those kinds of things. And we've seen that, that can be a big barrier to treatment. And so that's one of the things, that highlights Promises Austin as well.
That's fantastic. So in most cases, there is a component. There's a dual diagnosis component, right? So there's maybe somebody has depression or anxiety, and maybe they're using a substance to take care of that disorder. How do you guys deal with dual diagnosis, and what type of clinicians do you have on staff that would help with that?
Yeah, for sure. So all of our clinicians are master's levels, psychologists. Psychiatrist comes on campus twice a week. In talking about, dual diagnosis, mental health, I'm a believer that, a lot of this comes from those core issues, whether it be a mental health disorder, whether it be any types of addiction, and just, having the staff, the ability to work on those core issues and treat those core issues is something else that makes us stand out. So I think that, just across the board with elements that focus on, where this stuff is coming from is something that separates us for sure.
Okay. So let's see here. We've talked about the ages. Do you have a limit on the age? I mean,
no, okay. Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the location. You're out there you're in hill country. How big is your facility? Not in beds, but acres maybe, or.
Yeah, so it's on 9 acres. Yeah, it's on 9 acres. It's kind of modeled after one of our other programs. For example, Promises Malibu. It kind of looks like a house, a big house, cozy atmosphere.
Okay.
On 9 acres. It has a long walking, hiking trail that goes around it that a lot of clients use in between sessions and whatnot. And just it's the scenery, the tranquility of the property, is just amazing. It's when you go there in person, you feel it, and I think that's definitely a great characteristic about Promises Austin. And again, we utilize, we're about 10 minutes from Lake Travis, okay. Maybe 15 miles from Hamilton Pool and Krause Springs, and, clients go swimming, do things outside in nature. We do equine therapy once a week, alternating with, men and women once a week, things like that. So we definitely use, Promises Austin uses, the tranquility of the property and surrounding areas.
That's awesome. How far away from Austin Central is it? Like the center of Austin, how far away is it?
Yeah, sure. So I would say from downtown Austin, without traffic, I would say, an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
If anybody is aware of where maybe Steiner Ranch or Lakeway or Bee Caves areas are just outside of Austin, it's about 45 minutes from there. So, not too far from downtown Austin. I live in Steiner Ranch. It's about 35 minutes from where I live in Steiner Ranch. So it's pretty nearby.
Okay. So let's talk about, so we talked about the professionals, and more than likely the professionals definitely have, there's a family component that's associated with that. Definitely
sure,
parents have a family component. So how does your family program work, and what types of things do you go over with that? Right.
So we have the one session a week with the family member or family members, and that's with the primary therapist. And then we also have, the once a month part of the family program where the family comes in. We try to get them to come in, of course, in person, and on a Thursday and Friday. And it's really, educating them about the disease of addiction, and really getting everybody on the same page and understanding that it is a family disease. And that there's help for everybody, and we can all learn from this and move on and just have healthy relationships with each other, and the family program really just provides that understanding, through all family members, what this is, and there's no shame in this, and it's something to work on and just move forward with life, after sobriety.
Right. And talking about that, what's the typical aftercare plan look like for coming out of your program?
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know, residential treatment is just it's a foundation, and at Promises Austin, for example, it's a 35-day program or a 60-day program. But really, one of the most important parts is what you do afterwards. And I work with all the Elements programs for clients returning from any of our programs, and including Promises Austin. I've been in the field since 2004, and I work with the primary therapist doing the aftercare planning to provide them with, if they need, whatever therapist, EMDR therapist, DBT therapists, any other types of specialty therapists, psychiatrists, sober living home if needed, recovery coaches, so on and so forth. So I usually give at least 5, recommendations for a full, solid wraparound care plan.
Okay.
And we just find that it's absolutely necessary, honestly. And then anything going on in the community in the Austin area, I'm very well connected in the community of what's going on, like Recovery in the Park music festival is coming up in Austin. The NAMI walk is tomorrow. I'm doing a team with that, and just passing that on to the primary therapist to then pass on to the clients at Promises Austin, and get them excited about leaving and know they have support after leaving, and really help get them connected to their communities sooner than later after they leave Promises Austin.
I think that's fantastic, and most of our listeners know by this time that that's kind of where we specialize in is the aftercare component.
For sure.
And
for sure,
we think that it's definitely one of the more important components because they're out there in the trenches, and that's when they actually need somebody to come in and give them those tools back that you guys had given them, and say, well, no, this is how you hold this hammer, or this is how you use this wrench.
Sure.
And in relationship to that particular issue that they're having. What about
absolutely?
What about is it male and female? Is it a co-ed facility or?
So we are co-ed. We are males. We do treat males and females. We do have mixed groups as well as gender-specific groups. It depends on the milieu at Promises Austin at that time. If we do have a lot of women trauma survivors, then that's going to look a little bit different. But for the most part, it's mixed, but with also that gender specific component with like men only groups, women only groups, and we find that it's a good mix because in reality we're mixed, but in some cases it's good to have those women only groups and men only groups.
Absolutely, I that's kind of how we are at our program. We've got some groups that are just for women and some groups that are for men because, frankly, I mean sometimes they just need to be apart, and they need to talk about how to deal with things, with each group.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this question: if somebody listening to our radio station now or later on Facebook needs to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you personally, or how do they get in touch with Promises? What's the process look like?
Sure, absolutely. Well, our website is www.promisesaustin.com. Okay. And if anybody needs help, you can call into our phone number, 855-206-6226. Again, it's 855-206-6226. Always available 24/7 to help. I'll even give, my personal number. I'm available 24/7 to help, and that's 512-676-9836. And again, that's 512-676-9836. And we're here to help.
So when somebody makes one of those phone calls to you, what can they expect? How does it?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give them more details about Promises Austin, and just get them more familiar with the program, what to expect on a day-to-day basis. And usually, and what I do is I'll ask, if they can text me a picture of the front and back of their insurance cards, and then I can basically get the insurance ran, and then get back to them to let them know how much will be covered for treatment. And then usually there is some kind of out-of-pocket amount, and then we work with that from there. Elements is great at really allowing people to feasibly pay for treatment and afford treatment. So, many times, there's an upfront amount that's due, and then like a short-term payment plan afterwards for, basically whatever the insurance doesn't cover. And something that just came to mind as well, Promises Austin does offer 24/7 full medical detox. Okay. So that's an important factor as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. If somebody was, really struggling with withdrawals, like what's their process? And
absolutely.
So somebody needs to, let's say somebody was coming from the West Texas area,
Sure.
Do they need to drive to you guys, or obviously they'll probably need to be assisted if they're going to be driving?
But yeah, absolutely. The best thing to do is to call the number that I gave for Promises Austin, or call me directly.
Okay.
And we're gonna listen to what's going on with the situation, and we have, we facilitate transportation and all that good stuff, so that's really never an issue. We take care of that.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's go over the web address again.
Sure.
It's www.promisesaustin.com. That's PROMISESAUSTIN.com.
You got it.
You can speak with Loren personally if you call her cell phone number at 512-676-9836, or you can call their 24-hour hotline number, which is, I didn't write that one down, so you tell me.
Yeah, I'll say it again. It's 855-206-6226.
Awesome. Great. Well, we really, really appreciate you coming on to the show today and helping us out and helping these professionals and the parents out. It's a much-needed service for that age group, and I definitely see a benefit in the older population not necessarily having to hang out with the collegiate group, although sometimes it helps the dynamic, but in most cases sometimes it's probably more annoying. They
pretty much make their beds, and the rooms are pretty
rooms stay clean.
There's also that factor.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
It's a much easier population to deal with, I would think, in most cases. So
yeah, in most cases, yes.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I really appreciate y'all tuning into the show. This is Loren. She is with Promises Austin. She is one of the territory managers. You can reach out to her at 512-676-9836. You can visit their website at www.promisesaustin.com. If you have any other additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us at 817-600-8692. This is Stages of Recovery Live. We really appreciate you, Loren. Thanks so much for coming on the show. I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thanks, Loren. You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in on your Friday. And there you have it. That was Loren from Promises. Anyway, we will be back next Friday, so please tune in. We'll be here at the same time, same place. Y'all have a great Friday, and we will be right back with Jim Stewart.